Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short Story 575, The Last Dawn, Intermediate. The silence was the worst part. Not the quiet of a peaceful morning, but the heavy, unnatural silence of a world emptied. Sarah gripped the rusty axe, its weight a cold comfort in her trembling hands. 3 months. 3 months since the coughing started, since the news reports turned frantic, since the dead began to walk. Her small cottage, once a haven, was now a cage. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside, sent a jolt of fear through her. Food was running low. Today, she had to go out. She pushed open the back door, wincing at the groan of old wood. The garden, once vibrant with roses, was overgrown and wild. Beyond the low fence, the lane stretched, empty and still. Too still. She moved slowly, carefully, her eye scanning every shadow, every broken window of the houses opposite. A low moan echoed from further down the lane. Sarah froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. It was close. Too close. She ducked behind a thick bush, peering through the leaves. A figure shuffled into view. Its clothes were torn, its skin grey and peeling, and its jaw hung loose, drooling. It was one of them. A walker, as they called them. It moved with a sickening lurch, its vacant eye staring straight ahead. It passed her hiding spot, oblivious. Sarah held her breath until it was out of sight. She knew she had to be quicker, smarter. Her destination was the old convenience store, a mile down the road. It might have canned goods, anything to survive a few more days. The journey was a tense ballet of stealth and speed. She hugged walls, sprinted across open spaces, and listened intently for any sound. She reached the store, its windows boarded up, a single door ajar. Inside, it was dark and smelled of dust and decay. She moved through the aisles, her axe ready. Cans of beans, a few bottles of water, a dusty bag of rice. A small victory. As she turned to leave, a sudden crash from the back room made her jump. Not a walker, this time. Something else. A rat, perhaps? Or a faint whimper. It sounded human. Sarah hesitated. Her instinct screamed at her to run, to save herself. But the whimper tugged at something deep inside her. Slowly, cautiously, she moved towards the sound, her axe raised. In the back room, a young girl, no older than 10, was huddled behind an overturned shelf, sobbing quietly. She was thin, her clothes dirty, but alive. "Hey," Sarah whispered, her voice hoarse from disuse. The girl looked up, her eyes wide with fear, then hope. "Are you real?" the girl whispered back. Sarah smiled, a genuine smile for the first time in months. "Yes, I'm real. My name's Sarah. What's yours?" "Lily," the girl said, her voice trembling. Sarah helped Lily up. They had found each other. The world was still broken, dangerous, but now, Sarah wasn't alone. They would face the next dawn together, two survivors in a silent world, ready to fight for every sunrise. Vocabulary notes. Gripped. Definition: to hold something very firmly. Example: Sarah gripped the rusty axe, its weight a cold comfort in her trembling hands. Similar words: clutched, grasped, held tightly. Haven. Definition: a place of safety or refuge. Example: her small cottage, once a haven, was now a cage. Similar words: sanctuary, refuge, shelter. Wincing. Definition: to make a slight involuntary grimace or shrinking movement of the body out of pain or distress. Example: she pushed open the back door, wincing at the groan of old wood. Similar words: flinching, recoiling, cringing. Shuffled. Definition: to walk by dragging one's feet along or without lifting them fully from the ground. Often implies a slow, unsteady movement. Example: a figure shuffled into view. Similar words: dragged, limped, scuffed. Oblivious. Definition: not aware of or not concerned about what is happening around one. Example: it passed her hiding spot, oblivious. Similar words: unaware, unmindful, ignorant. Ballet. Definition: used metaphorically here, a complex, coordinated series of actions or movements. Example: the journey was a tense ballet of stealth and speed. Similar words: dance, routine, sequence. Ajar. Definition: of a door or window, slightly open. Example: she reached the store, its windows boarded up, a single door ajar. Similar words: partially open, unlatched, slightly open. Huddled. Definition: to crowd together, to curl one's body into a small space. Example: in the back room, a young girl, no older than 10, was huddled behind an overturned shelf, sobbing quietly. Similar words: crouched, curled, nestled. Hoarse. Definition: of a voice sounding rough and harsh, typically as the result of a sore throat or of shouting. Example: hey, Sarah whispered, her voice hoarse from disuse. Similar words: raspy, rough, croaky. Tugged. Definition: to pull something hard or suddenly. Used metaphorically here to mean to strongly influence feelings or decisions. Example: but the whimper tugged at something deep inside her. Similar words: pulled, urged, compelled. Story written by Gemini Pro AI. Image created by Imagio AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, unicorn heads.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on, well, an extraordinary journey into a powerful short story titled The Last Dawn. We've received this fascinating piece of fiction, and our mission today, really, is to extract the core human experiences. It's set in a world that's been fundamentally altered. Think of it maybe as a shortcut to understanding isolation, survival, that sheer will, and the unexpected power of connection when everything seems empty.
What's really grabbed me about this story is how, concise it is, yet it manages to pack in these huge themes: fear, incredible resourcefulness, and finally, a glimmer of hope. We'll be digging into the specific details, the ones the author uses so effectively, and looking at how they build towards a really pivotal moment.
Okay, so let's dive in. How does the author immerse us right away? Let's talk about that opening scene, that silence. It's described as the worst part, not peaceful, but heavy, suffocating, just unnatural. This is Sarah's world, 3 months after some mysterious coughing started and the dead began to walk.
Yeah, that phrase, the worst part about the silence, it's incredibly potent, isn't it? It immediately sets up this feeling of complete societal collapse, not just the loss of life, but the absence, the void left behind. It's not just quiet, it's the chilling lack of, human sounds. Where civilization used to be, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What is daily life when everything familiar, even background noise, is gone?
Exactly. And her cottage, which should be a safe place, a haven, it's described as a cage. Every little sound, a floorboard creak, leaves rustling. It sends this jolt of fear through her. Her grip on a rusty axe is her only comfort. Wow. That image, the cage and the axe, it really brings home the constant tension.
It's interesting, the word cage. Because yes, it traps her, but it's also her only perceived safety. It highlights how sanctuary just completely changes meaning in a world like this. It becomes a double-edged sword. And that rusty axe, it's not just a tool, it's a pretty grim symbol of how the world's inverted. Comfort found in a weapon. It really subverts what home is supposed to feel like.
Right. And as that cage becomes less safe, really, because resources are dwindling, she has to go outside. This is where her survival quest, her daily grind, begins. Her garden, once vibrant, now overgrown and wild, kind of reflecting the world, right? She has to step out into the lane, empty and still, too still.
And what really comes through here is the sheer grinding reality of it all. Just staying alive day to day, finding food, something so mundane for us, becomes this extreme life or death risk. The author does a great job conveying her heightened awareness, scanning every shadow, every broken window. It's not just description, you feel it. It's this constant threat assessment. It defines her existence.
And just as we're feeling that quiet peril, the story throws us right into the explicit danger, an encounter with a walker. A low moan echoed, then this figure shuffled into view. The details are sharp. Torn clothes, skin gray and peeling, jaw hung loose, drooling. It moved with a sickening lurch, vacant eyes staring straight ahead. It's incredibly unsettling. What do these details really tell us?
Well, the meticulous description, the gray and peeling skin, the loose jaw, it's not just for shock value. I think it's a masterclass in dehumanization. It makes the threat not just physical, but psychologically repulsive. It reinforces how broken everything is, the natural order completely gone. And Sarah's reaction, holding her breath, ducking down, that realization had to be quicker, smarter. It shows this rapid, brutal adaptation needed just to survive. It's not just about avoiding danger. It's about evolving instincts for this new, awful reality.
Okay, so her destination is the old convenience store, a mile away, like a ghost of the past world, now just a potential score. Inside, it's dark, dusty, smells like decay. Typical. She moves through, acts ready, finds what the story calls a small victory. Some cans of beans, a few water bottles, a dusty bag of rice.
That phrase, small victory, it's so significant in a world where scarcity is just normal. It grounds the whole thing in immediate tangible needs, shows how much the value system is flipped. But right then, just as she's about to leave, the story takes this, well, really unexpected turn.
Yeah, a sudden crash from the back room makes her jump. Her first thought, not a walker this time, something else. A rat, perhaps, or... And then, the pivotal moment, a faint whimper. It sounded human.
That whimper. It's such a tiny sound, isn't it? But it creates this huge moral dilemma. All her survival instincts must be screaming, run, get out, save yourself. But that human sound, what does a moment like that say about us? About our innate drives, even when they clash with survival itself?
It's that core conflict, exactly. Her instincts yelling, save yourself, versus this whimper that tugged at something deep inside her. It feels like this is where her humanity maybe wins out over pure self-preservation. So, slowly, cautiously, she moves towards the sound, axe still ready, of course. And there, huddled behind an overturned shelf, a young girl, no older than 10, thin, dirty, but alive.
And the dialogue that follows is so sparse, but wow, so powerful. Lily's hesitant question, are you real? That just speaks volumes about the isolation, the sheer disbelief of finding someone else. And Sarah's response, a genuine smile for the first time in months. That's the aha moment, isn't it? A crack in all that blickness, that simple exchange of names, Sarah, Lily. It changes everything.
It really does. It feels like a turning point.
Yeah.
So what does this connection mean for Sarah and for this harsh world they're stuck in? How does it reshape survival?
I think the real punch of this story, The Last Dawn, isn't just that she finds someone. It's how that connection redefines what survival even means. It suggests that maybe the rarest resource in this collapsed world isn't food or water. It's shared humanity. That becomes the ultimate resource. The world is absolutely still broken, dangerous, no question. But Sarah is not alone. And that shift, it's not just from solitary to shared existence, it feels like it reinfuses purpose, hope, into a world that seemed to have none left. The idea of facing the next dawn together that moves beyond just staying alive. It hints at a collective future, however fragile.
So wrapping this up, what does our deep dive into The Last Dawn really tell us about the human spirit? It seems it's not just about surviving the monsters outside, but also about how quickly we adapt, how precious those small victories become, and maybe most importantly, how incredibly transformative a single human connection can be, especially when facing overwhelming loss.
Exactly. This story is a powerful reminder, I think, that even when stripped bare, our capacity for compassion, our need for companionship, these can emerge as the strongest drivers. It really encourages some critical thinking, doesn't it? About what wealth and safety truly mean when everything tangible is gone. What are our fundamental human needs, really?
So, something for you to think about. In a world where silence is described as the worst part and every single dawn is a battle won, How does just finding one other person redefine what's possible? What does together truly mean when everything else has fallen away?
And taking that a step further, if connection is the ultimate resource in that world, what does it imply about how we value our own connections, our own small victories right here, right now? It's definitely a powerful thought to mull over.